Okay, so I get asked time to time, how much does it cost to start up a powder coat company? Well, maybe not necessarily a company, but how much does it cost to start powder coating, in your garage? Um, so I kind of put together a list of things that you're going to need. Assuming you don't have anything, I put an air compressor on here too. Most people, if you want to start powder coating, I guess it depends on what you're going to be powder coating, but most people have a air compressor in their garage, I would think. And if you don't, no judgment. That's just something I would think that most people would have, especially if you're wanting to do brackets and you're working on a car. I would assume that. So the first thing you're going to want this is just a random list, no specific order. But you're gonna want to get a powder coat gun. I have on here the Eastwood dual voltage. It seems to be the most affordable one that sprays the best for the money. There's the Harbor Freight one. They're not too popular. I don't know much about them, but I know not many people use them that I've seen. But the Eastwood gun will run you $130 if you get the dual voltage. If you don't care to get the dual voltage and you just want the single one, I think it's like $80. So that could save you $50. I didn't necessarily pick the cheapest options on here. I did for a lot of things, but I kind of try to keep it cheap, but to where you could work well with it, I guess. So I would recommend the dual voltage gun over the single one for $50. Especially if you're going to be trying to turn out work, to sell or for profit and money. The air compressor, if you don't have one, the way I'm gonna tell you to set up to start your setup, this one will work. I did a little sample video, that I'll put in this video that you can see how well it works. It's not a 2-stage air compressor that's just gonna, blast stuff, no problem. It works. It's efficient enough. The air compressor that I bought, that I just needed an extra one, just a little portable one, it was $160 from Lowe's. Here's actually the part that I sandblasted with it. It was just raw steel. Had a little bit of rust on it. So it works. This took me maybe a couple minutes, to blast this much right here. So you can see, just that's a cheap air compressor that, I just sandblasted that with. It did pretty good. Look, maybe a couple of little touch-ups you might have to do, but you could definitely use this if you're sandblasting something raw to use for your startup powder coat company. You don't need, $1,000 air compressor like most of us have or more, but you can work your way up to it. This is just to get you started. This is kind of like the minimal. Buy you a small air compressor like this one, and then after you upgrade, you can use it for whatever. Like little portable air compressor is not a bad thing to have in your garage. But you can see the specs on it. It's only 4 CFM and 90 PSI, and it's a 1.8 horsepower motor. So, you know, and that what I just sandblasted, we only did it at about 40 PSI. So I would save your money on getting, you know, an expensive air compressor and invest in some rim strip in a container, because this is going to be a lot better route than trying to even remove powder coat with, like, say, $1,000+ air compressor that you're going to have in your garage on single phase. And like what I was saying, the way, like, how I'm going to tell you to set it up isn't necessarily the cheapest, but it's as efficient as you can be for the money. So you'll want to get that air compressor. And then I'd recommend getting a cabinet. The one from Harbor Freight is the one I started with, and I still have it, actually. I don't use it anymore. I need to sell it. But they're $200 brand new. If you look on Marketplace and stuff, sometimes you can find them used, 100, 150 bucks. Somebody just want to get rid of one. And then after that, you're going to want to get a pressure pot for this setup. It's going to be the most efficient blasting for a cabinet, because the siphon guns, they use way too much air, especially if you have a small air compressor. They're not going to work very well for you. They're going to be running very minimal. I'd recommend the 110-pound pot from Harbor Freight. It's $140. They have a 40-pound pot, and I think it's $130. So you might as well just get the 110-pound pot. They also have a 20-pound pot, and it's like, I think 70 or 80 bucks. You know, so if you want to save another $50, $60 there too, you can. But if you plan on growing this, I would just jump to the 110 pot. Your oven, you know, get on Marketplace, get on OfferUp, Craigslist. Any of those are going to be your best bet if you don't have an extra one laying around, to buy a used electric oven. Don't powder coat in your house oven. It'll ruin it. Don't do it. You know, that they're online all day used for $100. So just go buy one of those and have it dedicated for powder coat. Let's see, you're gonna want to get, for this, if you don't have anybody around you to blast parts or chemically strip things for you, you're gonna want to get like a 5-gallon thing of a chemical stripper. I have on here that to get a 5-gallon easy strip from Columbia Coatings. I saw a video. It was one of my subscribers. He I'll find him and I'll put him in here. He uses it and he had good things to say about it in one of his videos. So I would recommend that one, because you don't have to turn in a W-9, I think it is. You don't actually have to be a business to get it. So if you're just trying to start it out and see if it's something you want to do and you want to invest some money, and you don't actually want to get the whole LLC and all that stuff, this is something you can get without that. So, and they'll ship it directly to your house. Or if you want something stronger, maybe talk to a local powder coater and see if they'd be willing to help you out and maybe order you some. Maybe they charge you a couple extra bucks or something, or throw them a couple extra bucks for helping you out. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm outgassing some parts right now, and my oven's just gonna click on and off this whole video. But like I was saying, you know, you can maybe talk to a powder coater if you wanted rim strip, like a lot of us use, and maybe they'll help you out. Maybe they won't, or you can just take your parts to them and let them strip them. That depends on what you want to do. You're gonna want to get like a bucket to put your rim strip or your chemical stripper in, whichever one you choose. I recommend the Eagle overpack drums. I have a 95-gallon one. It was like $200, but that's gonna be way too big if you're only buying a 5-gallon thing of stripper. They sell a 20-gallon one. I would imagine that would be good enough for the parts that you're gonna be stripping to fit in a home oven. You know, brackets, I'm sure you could get one of these in there in that container and be able to strip it down. This is about as big as you're gonna be able to fit in a home oven. It is like a valve cover. You have to really finagle it in there though. I'm not gonna do it in there just because it's really tight, but I'm sure if this was your only option, was a home electric oven, that you could wiggle it in there and get it to fit just right to make it work. So, you know, this is about as big as you can go. Small wheels, maybe some small motorcycle wheels. Brackets will fit. Bolts, if people want bolts powder coated. You know, I still use mine from time to time, just when I have that one little small part that I need powder coated and I don't want to put it in my big oven. I'll turn that one on, it heats up in 5-10 minutes, and I throw it in there and it's ready to go. Anyways, so you're gonna want to get that bucket. That's gonna save you a lot of hassle. They come with screw-on lids, so they're real easy. And then you're gonna want to, I recommend the plug, tape, and hook kit from, it is High Temp Masking. Their website, I use them for all my tapes, hooks, and plugs. They're really good and they're really reasonable in price. That little starter kit's $30. It comes with some 4-inch hooks, which is perfect for a home oven, because that way they won't hang too low in there. And you can also buy some wire and make your own hooks for special applications. Like if you're trying to fit a valve cover in there and it needs to sit kind of at an angle in there, you can figure it out and make your own hooks so fit. And then I would budget just, you know, $100 for miscellaneous. You know, you're gonna need an air hose, a blowgun, maybe a little pump sprayer or something. You're gonna need either a respirator or a dust mask, at least to start out with. Maybe a box fan for your, if you make a homemade booth. You know, you might wanna wait until you get a couple paid jobs before you do that. You know, just some miscellaneous stuff that you can think of that I didn't, that you might not have laying around. So the grand total is about $1,200 to get in this if you have absolutely nothing and you're wanting to try to start a business, or you're just wanting to coat some stuff for yourself. So look at spending around $1,200. You know, if you have a compressor and stuff, you know, you could be closer to the $1,000 range. And if you have somebody local to you that will sandblast your parts, you know, that'll save you a ton of money up front just to get into it and see if you like it. Because then you would just need your powder coat gun, the oven, and a plug, tape, and hook kit, really. That's about it. You know, if you have an air compressor. If you don't, then you would need that too, obviously. But, you know, for $1,200, that can get you started in powder coating. So I hope this video helps you kind of understand what it takes to get done. This would be just a very basic minimum startup setup. I can do a video after this if there's any interest on kind of like the next step of where you can get like to a home garage. You know, like a 4x6 oven, possibly a spray booth. You know, a bigger container of rim strip if you have an LLC, or even that easy strip. They sell bigger containers. It gets pretty expensive. And then, you know, also a bigger air compressor too. So, and then, you know, you'd want to upgrade your blast cabinet as well. But, you know, that's going to be about it. If I forgot anything, I apologize. I try to think of everything that you would need to start, but that should be it. So if you like it, you know, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate the subscribers I have that, you know, help me want to grow this channel a little bit bigger, or keep posting content to hopefully grow it bigger. I think that's about it. So thank y'all.